The day I signed a 90-day marriage contract with billionaire Julian Cross, I thought I was selling my freedom. I was wrong. I was selling him the one thing his enemies had spent 15 years trying to destroy. My name. 3 hours after our wedding, he locked our bedroom door and said, "Whatever you do, never open the blue safe in my office." So naturally, the first thing I wanted to do was open the blue safe. Not because I was reckless. Because Julian had just bought the company I had spent 10 years building, fired my entire board, announced to the press that his new wife would have no authority over it. He smiled beside me while cameras flashed. "She's my wife now," he said. I smiled back. "Unfortunately for you, I'm also your largest shareholder." His smile disappeared. That was the moment I knew this marriage was going to be war. I met Julian Cross on the worst morning of my life. My company, Bellamy & Co., had just lost its largest contract. The bank had frozen our emergency credit line. My CFO had disappeared. And my board had scheduled a vote to remove me as CEO. O'clock. At 8:47 I was standing in the lobby of my own headquarters watching 6 security guards replace my photograph with Julian Cross's. I stared at the portrait. Black suit. Cold eyes. That arrogant expression that made women in business magazines call him dangerous. I turned to the security chief. "Who authorized this?" He swallowed. "Mr. Cross. Mr. Cross doesn't work here." "He does now," I laughed. "Nobody else did." Then the elevator opened. "You didn't bring assistance." He brought one woman carrying a folder. He stopped in front of me. "You're early. I own this company." "Not anymore." He handed me a document. I didn't take it. "What did you do?" "Bought the debt." "You bought my debt?" "All of it." "You can't." "I already did." I grabbed the document. My hands went cold. Every loan, every emergency credit facility, every private note, every one of them had been transferred to Cross Holdings. He owned my company's debt, and because my board had secretly used the company as collateral, he effectively controlled Bellamy & Company. I looked at him. "You planned this?" "Yes." "For how long?" 3 years. I almost slapped him. Instead I smiled. "Congratulations." His eyebrow lifted. "You're taking this well." "No." I handed the papers back. "I'm deciding how badly I'm going to hurt you." His expression changed. "Interesting. You think buying my debt makes you king?" "No." He leaned closer. "It makes me your landlord." I hated him instantly. That feeling only grew when he entered the boardroom 10 minutes later and took my chair. The directors stood. I didn't. Julian looked at me. "Sit." "I am sitting. You're standing." "Then perhaps you're already losing your eyesight." One director coughed to hide a laugh. Julian ignored him. "Effective immediately, Bellamy & Co. is under Cross Holdings management." I looked around the table. My CFO's chair was empty. My COO wouldn't meet my eyes. My oldest mentor, Henry Vale, sat beside Julian. That hurt more than anything. Henry had helped me start Bellamy & Co. in a garage. He had held my hand when my first investor walked away. Now he was sitting across from me. "With Julian." "You knew," I said. Henry lowered his eyes. Julian answered for him. Everyone knew. The room went silent. I stood. "Fine." Julian smiled. "Fine. You bought the company." "Yes." "You can keep the company." He frowned. "I don't want it." That was the first time he looked genuinely surprised. "I want something else." "What?" I stared directly into his eyes. "My shares," he laughed. "You don't own enough to stop me." "Maybe." I picked up my handbag. "But I own enough to make your acquisition very expensive." His smile faded. I walked toward the door. Then he said, "Your mother needs another surgery." I stopped. My blood ran cold. "Don't. I know about the hospital. Don't use her against me." "I'm not." He opened a file. "The surgery is scheduled in 6 weeks." I turned. "How do you know that?" "Because I paid for it." Silence. "What?" "I paid the hospital yesterday." "You don't get to buy my family." "I already did." I walked back toward him. He didn't move. "How much?" "Nothing." "Nothing." "I want something in return." I knew it. "What?" "Marry me." I laughed. Then laughed harder. The board stared at us. Julian didn't smile. 89 days. What? Contract marriage. 90 days. You're insane. Probably. Why me? His eyes hardened. Because I need a wife. Find one. I need you. That stopped me. Why? He leaned forward. Because if I don't appear married before Friday, I lose control of Cross Holdings. I stared. Your family has a marriage clause. Yes. That's ridiculous. Welcome to old money. And why does it have to be me? He looked at me for several seconds. Because my enemies already know your name. That answer bothered me. Who are your enemies? You don't want to know? I just asked. You'll know soon enough. I crossed my arms. Terms. He pushed a contract toward me. 90 days. Separate bedrooms. Agreed. No physical relationship. Agreed. I keep control of my personal finances. Yes. My mother's medical bills are paid. Already done. My company stays under my management. He hesitated, then nodded. You'll remain CEO. I stared at him. And after 90 days, we divorce. You swear. I swear. I picked up the pen. Then stopped. One more. Condition. What? If you lie to me, the contract is void. He looked amused. That's your condition? Yes. He nodded. Deal. I signed. He signed. Neither of us knew that the contract we just created would later become the most dangerous document in the Cross family. Or that someone had already forged a second copy, one that contained my death. The wedding happened that night. No flowers, no church, no family. Just a judge, 2 lawyers, and Julian's grandmother. She was 91, terrifying, and apparently the only person in the room who wasn't surprised to see me. She looked at me for a long time. Then she said, "So you're the girl." I frowned. What girl? Julian's jaw tightened. Grandmother. She ignored him. I've been waiting 12 years. I looked at Julian. He wouldn't meet my eyes. Waiting for what? His grandmother smiled. For you to come back. I froze. I've never met you. She laughed. That's what they told you. Julian stood. Enough. She stared at him. You brought her here. Now you protect her. I'm trying. No. Her eyes moved to me. You're already too late. Before I could ask what she meant, she stood and walked away. I turned to Julian. What was that? She's old. That's your explanation? She says strange things. About me? Yes. Why? He looked at the door. Because she has dementia. I didn't believe him. But I signed the marriage certificate anyway. At midnight, the news broke. B-I-I-I-I-I-R-I-R. Secretly, Mary's Bellamy. CEO. By morning, our photograph was everywhere. By noon, my company's stock had jumped. By 3, my mother called. Are you married? Yes. To him? Yes. Why? It's complicated. She went silent. Then she asked, Did he give you a blue ring? I looked at my hand. Julian had given me a ring. Dark sapphire. Old-fashioned. How did you know? My mother's breathing changed. Take it off. Mom. Take it off right now. Why? I'll explain when I see you. The call ended. I stared at the ring, then at Julian. He was across the room, reading a financial report. Your mother knows about the ring. His eyes lifted. What did she say? She told me to take it off. He stood immediately. Did you? No. He crossed the room. Good. Why? Because if you remove it now, they'll know. Who? He didn't answer. Julian. He looked at me. For the next 90 days. There are 3 things you cannot do. I waited. Don't go to the old Bellamy warehouse. Why? Don't speak to Henry Vale alone. Why? And don't open the blue safe in my office. I stared. What's inside? Something that can get you killed. That should have scared me. Instead, it made me curious. Because Julian had just given me 3 rules, and every rule had the same problem. He expected me to obey. I didn't. The next morning, I went to the old Bellamy warehouse. The place had been closed for 6 years. It was where my father had started the company. He had died when I was 17. Least, that was what I'd always been told. The warehouse smelled like dust and rain. I found the old office. The desk was still there. My father's name remained carved into the wood. I touched it, then noticed something underneath. A fresh scratch. The desk. I pushed. A hidden compartment opened. Inside was a black envelope. My name was written on it. Not my current name. My maiden name. Lena Bellamy. I opened it, and a fourth man I didn't recognize. They were standing together. On the back was a date, 12 years before my father's death. Then I found a second photograph. This one showed me. I was 17, standing beside a young Julian. My heart stopped. I had never seen the picture before. We were holding hands, and on my finger was a blue ring, the same ring I was wearing now. I dropped the photograph. My phone rang. Julian. I answered. Where are you? I said nothing. Lena, how did I meet you 12 years ago? Silence. Then he said, go home. How did I meet you? Lena, listen to me. You knew me before our marriage. How? He exhaled. Your father brought you to my family's estate. Why? I don't know. You're lying. Yes. My stomach tightened. Why? Because I don't know how much you remember. I remember my father. I remember being 17. I remember being 17. Nothing. I remember my father telling me never to trust the Cross family. His voice changed. What else? I remember a boy. Silence. Was it you? Yes. What happened? You left. Why? I don't know. You're lying again. Yes. I closed my eyes. Tell me the truth. I can't. Then we're done. No. His voice suddenly became sharp. Lena, get out of the warehouse. Why? Because you're not alone. I turned. A man stood at the end of the hallway. He raised a gun. I dropped the phone. The shot shattered the window beside my head. I ran. He chased me through the warehouse. I grabbed a metal pipe. He fired again. The bullet hit the wall. I swung. The pipe struck his wrist. His gun fell. I kicked it away. He smiled. You finally remember. I froze. What? He laughed, then jumped through the broken window. I ran outside. Are you hurt? No. He grabbed my face. Look at me. I pushed his hands away. Who was he? I don't know. He said I remembered. Julian's expression changed. What exactly did he say? I told him. He looked toward the warehouse, then said quietly, they found you. Who? The people who killed your father. I stared. My father wasn't murdered. Julian looked at me. He was. That night he finally told me part of the truth. My father had discovered that someone inside Bellamy and Company was stealing money. Not millions. Billions. The money was being moved through shell companies connected to Cross Holdings. My father confronted Julian's father. 2 days later my father died. The official cause was a car accident. But Julian had evidence. It wasn't an accident. Then why didn't you tell me? Because you disappeared. I was here. No. He looked at me. You weren't. What does that mean? After your father's death, your mother took you away. I know. She didn't just move. He paused. She changed your identity. I stared. Why? To protect you. From your own company. From everyone. I laughed bitterly. So why marry me now? Because they found you anyway. I looked at him. Who? The people who killed your father. And what do they want? Your father's evidence. I don't have it. Yes, you do. My heart stopped. Where? He looked at the ring. I touched it. No. Yes. The ring? Your father hid the evidence inside it. I stared at the blue stone. You knew. I suspected. You married me because of the Mason ring. No. You knew I had it. Yes. And you didn't tell me. I couldn't. Why? Because someone was listening. I looked around. Who? Julian pointed toward the ceiling. A tiny red light blinked. Everyone. He smashed it. Then another. Then another. There were 6 cameras hidden in the room. I felt sick. How long? Since before our wedding. You let them watch us. I wanted them to think they were watching us. He smiled. What were they really watching? Me. No. He looked at the ring. You. The next day, someone leaked our private marriage contract. The internet exploded. Every clause was public. Except one, the final page was missing. That page contained the divorce condition. My lawyers told me it didn't matter. It mattered. Because the missing page had been replaced with a forged one. According to the forged version, if I divorced Julian before 90 days, I would lose Bellamy & Co., my mother's medical trust, and every personal asset I owned. I stared at the document. I never signed this. The lawyer looked nervous. Your signature is there. It's forged. Julian entered. Looked at the page, then at me. This is bad. You think didn't create this. Then who did? He didn't answer. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. A man's voice said, "Your husband has 48 hours. For what? To give us the blue ring. And if he doesn't, we'll send you the second photograph." The call ended. I looked at Julian. What second photograph? He didn't answer. The next morning, an envelope arrived. Inside was a photograph of my father. Alive. Taken 3 days after his supposed death. On the back were 6 words. He has been alive all along. I stared at the picture. Julian's face went pale. Photograph. This is impossible. Why? Because I saw his body. You saw my father's body. Yes. Then someone showed you the wrong body. He looked at me. That means someone planned his death. Or faked it. He turned the photograph over. There was an address. An abandoned private clinic. We went there that night. The building was empty, but one room still had power. Inside was a medical bed, a chair, a computer, and a file. My name was on it. I opened it. The first page contained a photograph of me at 17. The second showed my father. The third showed Julian. The fourth showed a woman I had never seen. At the bottom of the page was a sentence. Subjects L and J were separated after the incident. I stared. What incident? Julian took the file. His hands were shaking. Lena. What? There's something you need to remember. He looked at me. When you were 17, you didn't just meet me. What did I do? You saved my life. How? You pushed me out of the way when someone fired a gun. I stared. I don't remember. You were shot. I touched my shoulder. There was an old scar there. I had always thought it came from a childhood accident. Julian continued. You almost died. Why don't I remember? Because your mother made them erase it. Who? The same people who erased your father's death. The computer suddenly turned on. A video appeared. My father, older, tired, alive. He looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, Lena, then they finally married you to Julian. My heart stopped. My father continued. I need you to understand something. He looked terrified. Your marriage is not a coincidence. The video glitched. Then returned. Julian's father isn't the man you should fear. The screen went black. A second later, another message appeared. He isn't the man who ordered your father's death. Julian stared at it. Then who? The screen displayed a name. Henry Vale. My stomach dropped. Henry, the man who had helped my father build Bellamy & Co. The man who sat beside Julian at the board meeting, the man I had trusted for 10 years. My phone rang. Henry. I answered. Lena, did you kill my father? Silence. Then he said, you shouldn't have opened that file. My heart stopped. Answer me. I didn't kill your father. Then who did? You don't understand. Make me understand. He laughed softly. Ask your husband why he was the last person your father called. I looked at Julian. His expression changed. Henry continued. Ask him what happened in the hospital. The call ended. I turned toward Julian. What hospital? He said nothing. What happened? He closed his eyes. Your father wasn't the only person who was shot that night. Who else? Me. I stared. You. Yes. Why? I was there. With my father. Yes. What happened? Julian looked at me. You were. The room went silent. I laughed. No. You did. I was 17. You were. What happened? I was 17. You were. Terrified. I wouldn't shoot you. You didn't mean to. Then what happened? You were trying to shoot the man behind me. Who? Julian looked toward the screen. Henry. I felt dizzy. But Henry was helping my father. He was pretending to. Why? Because your father discovered Henry was the thief. Everything clicked. The stolen money, the fake death, the surveillance, the ring, the contract. Henry had been inside the company from the beginning. But if Henry was the thief, why had he helped Julian buy Bellamy and Comey? Julian answered my question before I asked. Because he wanted the company. Why? Because your father left something behind. The evidence. No. He looked at me. Control. Control of what? The Bellamy Trust. I had never heard of it. Julian explained. My father had secretly created a trust containing patents, land, intellectual property, and voting rights worth billions. But the trust could only be activated by his biological heir. Me. Henry couldn't access it. So he needed me. Alive. Under control. And married to someone he could manipulate. I stared at Julian. So the marriage was his plan. You knew. I discovered it 2 days before the wedding. Then why did you agree? Because if I didn't marry you, Henry would. I felt cold. He wanted to marry me. He needed your signature. For the trust. Yes. And you. I wanted to keep you alive. I laughed. That's the first honest thing you said. He looked at me. I know. Then the lights went out. A second later, every emergency door opened. Men entered the clinic. Julian grabbed my hand. Run. We escaped through the basement. But before we reached the car, a bullet struck Julian. Across his shirt. I caught him. Stay with me. He grabbed my wrist. Don't. Don't what? Go back. I'm not leaving you. Lena. He smiled weakly. You always do this. What? Save me. His eyes closed. I screamed his name. Then I heard applause. Henry stepped from the darkness. Touching. I turned. He was holding a gun. You, he smiled. You finally remember. I stood. You killed my father. No. You stole the money. Yes. You tried to control the trust. Yes. Why? Henry laughed. Because your father stole it first. I stared. He stole what? From me. You're lying. He built Bellamy and Co. With my money. That's impossible. He promised me half. And? He betrayed me. Henry's smile disappeared. So I took everything back. I looked at Julian. Henry followed my eyes. Don't worry. He raised his gun. He's not dead. Yet. I stepped forward. What do you want? The ring. I took it off. Henry smiled. Good. I stepped forward. Said. Held it out. But first, tell me where my father is. Henry's smile faded. You're bargaining. Yes. He laughed. You have nothing. I smiled. Actually, I do. I held up my phone. The camera was recording. Henry froze. You confessed. His face changed. You little. He lunged. Julian suddenly grabbed his ankle. Henry fell. I ran. The police arrived seconds later. Not because of my phone, because Julian had secretly sent the recording to them before entering the clinic. Henry was arrested, but as they dragged him away, he laughed. You still don't know. I stopped. No. What? He shouted. Your father is waiting for you. Then he was gone. Julian was taken to the hospital. I followed. For 3 days he remained unconscious. On the 4th morning, he opened his eyes. I was asleep beside him. He smiled. You're still here. I woke. You're alive. Apparently. Punched his shoulder. He winced. Ow. That was for lying. I deserved that. And that was for the fake marriage. I deserved that too. And this. I leaned closer. He smiled. Is for saving me. I kissed him. When I pulled away, he looked stunned. So what? The contract. What about it? 90 days. I smiled. We're at day 46. He laughed. Counting. Every day. Why? Because I haven't decided whether to divorce you. He raised an eyebrow. Yet. Then his smile disappeared. What? You know my father is still alive. I nodded. We'll find him. No. What? I know where he is. My heart stopped. Where? Looked at the hospital door. He called me this morning. What did he say? He said the person who started everything isn't Henry. Then who? Julian stared at me. Your mother. I froze. My mother. She knew everything. No. She knew about the trust. No. She knew about the trust. Ring. No. She knew about the fake death. I shook my head. She protected me. Yes. Then why? Because your father wasn't the victim. I stared at him. What? Julian took my hand. Your father started the entire scheme. The world went quiet. What scheme? The one that turned your family against mine. He looked at me. Your father created Bellamy & Co. to steal the Cross fortune. I couldn't breathe. He used Henry. He used everyone. Then why did he disappear? Because he needed you to become the heir. I looked at my ring. The trust. Yes. And my mother. She helped him. No. Julian's voice softened. I'm sorry. My phone rang. Mom. I answered. Lena. Her voice was trembling. Where are you? At the hospital. With Julian. Yes. Silence. Then she whispered. Don't trust him. I closed my eyes. Mom. What did you do? Nothing. Mom. I tried to protect you. From what? From your riot. Father. I froze. Where is he? She started crying. I'll tell you everything. When? Tomorrow. Why not now? Because he's here. I stopped breathing. Where? With me. The call ended. I looked at Julian. My mother has my father. He sat up despite the pain. Then we go. Where? A message appeared on my phone. An address. An old country estate. Then another message. Come alone. Julian reached for his jacket. No. You hurt her. I said alone. I don't care. You're injured. I've survived worse. I looked at him. You're not coming. I am. Why? He smiled. Because we're married. I laughed. For 90 days. Still counts. We left the hospital before sunrise. Neither of us saw the woman in the back seat. Neither of us saw the woman in the back seat. Victoria Cross. Julian's grandmother. And she wasn't smiling. Ju was holding a photograph. Photograph of my mother. On the cetera. Back were 3 words. She knows everything. The estate was surrounded by forest. No guards. No cameras. No cars. The front door was unlocked. We entered. Mom. Nothing. Then a voice came from upstairs. Older. Paler. Holding a gun. Behind her was a man. My father. Alive. He looked exactly as I remembered. Except his eyes were different. Cold. He smiled. Hello, sweetheart. I stopped. Or alive. Yes. Why? He laughed. Because I had work to finish. My mother lowered the gun. Don't. He ignored her. He looked at Julian. So, Julian stepped forward. You're supposed to be dead. I was. For 12 years. Yes. Why come back now? My father looked at me. Because she finally married you. Julian's face hardened. What does that mean? My father smiled. It means the final phase has begun. I felt the room tilt. What? Final phase? He looked at the ring in my hand. You activated the trust. My heart stopped. I didn't. You did the moment you married him. I looked at Julian. He looked equally confused. My father continued. The trust wasn't designed to protect the family. Then what was it designed for? To destroy it. Silence. The Cross family stole everything from us, he said. Your father helped me build Bellamy & Co. Then he betrayed me. Henry stole from both of us. And Julian. My father smiled. He was supposed to die. Julian went still. What? You were the final witness. To what? My father looked at me. To the night. I killed my own brother. I froze. My uncle. Yes. Why? Because he discovered what I was doing. My mother began crying. Stop. He ignored her. I staged my death. I hid. I raised money. I created the trust. He pointed at me. And I waited for my daughter to Come back. I stared at him. You used me. Yes. You used Henry. Yes. You used Julian. Yes. You used Julian. Yes. I looked at my husband. He was silent. My father smiled. And now I need you to do one last thing. What? Divorce him. I stared. Why? Because the contract is about to expire. I laughed. No. My father frowned. You don't understand. No. I looked at Julian, then at my mother, then at my father. For the first time, I understand perfectly. He raised the gun. You'll sign. I smiled. No. He pulled the trigger. The shot exploded through the room. Julian pushed me aside. The bullet, Ito, struck the wall. My father fired again. My mother tackled him. The gun went flying. Julian grabbed it. Police stormed the estate. My father froze. I looked at him. You should have checked the contract. He stared. What? I pulled the original agreement from my bag. The real one. One Julian and I had signed. I pointed to the final clause. If either party is threatened with death, the contract automatically extends until the threat is removed. My father stared. No. I smiled. You taught me to read the fine print? Julian looked at me. You added that? After day 1. He laughed. My father was arrested. My mother was taken into custody for questioning. And the truth finally began to surface. Not all at once. Not cleanly. There were hidden accounts. Secret companies. False identities. Old murders. Truth that didn't fit into one courtroom. But for the first time, the secrets weren't controlling us. We were holding them. The contract had started as a transaction. It became a shield. Then a weapon. Then something neither of us expected. A choice. Julian looked at me outside. The courthouse. Day 89. I smiled. You've been counting too. Every day. Tomorrow is 90. Yes. And then, he took out a new contract. I stared. Seriously. 1 page. What does it say? He handed it to me. At the top were 4 words. Marriage without an expiration date. I laughed. You're terrible at romance. I know. I looked at the signature line, then at him. What's the catch? No catch. Impossible. You can walk away whenever you want. I looked at him. And you? I'll stay. I picked up the pen. For 90 days I had been his wife because a contract told me to be. This. Time. There was no money, no inheritance, no board, no family clause, no enemy, no hidden agenda, just a choice. I signed. Julian smiled. What? I still hate your blue safe. He laughed. You opened it. When? Day 3. You knew? I installed a camera. I stared at him. You're unbelievable. He smiled. You married me. I grabbed his tie. And you married a woman who never follows instructions. That's why I married you. I kissed him. Behind us, the courthouse doors closed. The cameras flashed. Headlines were already writing themselves. Billionaire, husband, contract wife, family scandal, corporate war. Nobody knew the real story. Nobody knew how many times we had nearly lost each other. Nobody knew how many lies had been buried under one 90-day agreement. And nobody knew that the blue safe still contained one final file. Not a secret about my father. Not a secret about Julian. Not a secret about the company. A birth certificate. 2 names, 1 mother, and a date that proved someone else had been manipulating our marriage long before either of us knew each other's names. Julian looked at the safe, then at me. Do we open it? I smiled. Not tonight. Why? Because for once I want one peaceful evening. He laughed. Deal. We walked away together. Behind us, the blue safe remained locked. And inside it was the next secret waiting to destroy everything we thought we knew.